If you're new here, I share my story on TikTok, and most recently we've moved over to YouTube, so I wanted to hop on here with my husband, and we're going to share a little bit about our adoption story and how we became adoptive parents at about 22 and 24 years old. Now we are 24 and 26 years old, and we've adopted 3 kids, and we actually had a baby about a month ago, and so lots of big changes, and we're happy to share them with you. When did we first kind of decide that we wanted?
We decided probably, I guess at the end of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was, end of 20, basically right when we got this house, we kind of were thinking that we were wanting to foster. There's our cat making noise.
Yeah, we knew that we wanted to foster, we just didn't really know when, and so we thought when we were planning for this that it was going to be something a little bit more long-term, like maybe in 10 years from now, 20 years from now, but obviously God had other plans, and so when the beginning of 2021, we bought our house and closed on it, and we actually started the process to be foster parents. We filled out like the information form and all those things, and for some reason we kind of backed out of it. I think we started trying for a baby, and we said, let's just take a break and see like what God has planned for us. We may be jumping into this too quickly. Well, beginning of 2022 is I think when we kind of hit hard again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we decided that we were going to open our home for foster care, but we were only going to do it for birth through 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And so we signed up, we started doing all the things, and that didn't happen, right? We didn't end up ever taking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we didn't really end up, we obviously did not. Our original intention was to support families going through, foster care is usually not a great situation, and our goal is to let the kids get back with their family.
Reunification.
Reunification. So we weren't really looking at permanent placements necessarily. We were just looking.
We hadn't thought about adoption really at all. Like I said, we really were passionate about the ministry of working with families. I think both of us as teachers, we just know it's hard. We get it's hard, and so we, as foster parents, were hoping just to be able to come in and kind of help put families back together. That also never happened. So we figured out about 5 or 6 weeks into opening our home for foster care that one of my students needed a place to go, and so we actually started preparing to take in a 12-year-old, and we had been given so many baby things.
How pitiful. Poor baby. She said, I want to be the star of the show.
So everyone had given us all this stuff for little kids, essentially. And we had even set up like a room for a toddler that obviously never got used. And so when we found out that we would be taking a 12-year-old in, we were scrambling. Drew actually took off a day of work to try and get a room ready for her. And at this point, I just turned 22 years old.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Beatboxing.
It was like...
So we had the opportunity to, we didn't even really know it was going to be an opportunity. We just kind of put our name out there. We actually didn't expect that we'd be able to get her, but we both felt strongly that...
we were kind of afraid that they would tell us we were too young.
Yeah, we both felt strongly that we should try and, put our name in there. We called DHS, told them, hey, we were still figuring out some of the adoption or the foster care stuff. We weren't actually completely finished with all the paperwork and stuff. But we told them, we put our name out there, said, hey, if she needs a placement,
call us before you put her in a group home, basically.
Yeah.
And so Rory's last day of school, I was a teacher at her school. We still had not heard back that she was going anywhere. I knew it was her last day. I knew she was going back into foster care, but we hadn't heard anything. And so I'm like driving home, screaming at the top of my lungs after I left school because I was so upset. I was like, God, you are the only one that could do anything about this. Why are you letting this happen? you're the only one that has a say in this. What are you gonna do? And so I'm telling you, I don't know how I made it home safely because I was honestly crying so hard.
But I ended up getting a call that same day, basically, probably while she was in the middle of crying, that they were bringing her if we were willing to have her. And of course, we were, because we'd already said we were. And so we had, I guess, a day to prepare.
Yeah, a day. Drew took off the next day of work. Oh my goodness. Here, you want to go to chest week? Yeah, so Drew took off a day of work, and we put a bunk bed together, and we had to go get clothes. I mean, she came with like nothing, so.
That was April of 2022, and so it's been almost 2 years since we got her. And she's like twice as big.
Yeah, she's grown. She grew like 7 inches the first year she was with us. And so then not too long after Rory moved in, my cousin Tamray moved in with us. That was about 3 months after Rory had moved in with us. Tamray moved in with us, and they only have a 2-year age difference. And so they basically became siblings literally overnight, which was hard for them at first. They kind of fought a lot, but now they get along for the most part. And so moving forward with that, we got to adopt Rory in December of 2022. Just about 9 months after we got her? Mm-hmm. About 9 months after we got her, we got to adopt her. And that was something we never saw coming because, like I said, I was 22 and she was 12. We only have a 10-year age difference. And also, she had been adopted before, and so I'm thinking, why would she want to be adopted again? But she did ask us to adopt her. Mm-hmm. And she had to sign something in court saying that she consented to it. And so after we adopted Rory, we actually decided to close our home because we had both the girls in such a short amount of time, and we had no more room. We were living in a 3-bedroom, and each of the girls had their own room, and that was it. So we closed our home in January of 23, and we had a couple quiet months. And then, we got a call asking us if we'd be willing to take in Rory's brother, which was a very unexpected, but we were very excited about it. And so we had to reopen our home after only being closed for 3 months. We had to redo all the paperwork. It was a whole mess. We reopened our home, and thankfully we had about a week notice for that one. He was coming back from being in a therapeutic foster home and would be going straight back into DHS. And so we got him, and the girls had to move into the same bedroom. I was very excited to be reunified with Rory. They are 2 peas in a pod. They're twins. They look exactly the same.
They have the same laugh.
They have the same laugh, the same face. And it's so funny because people say that they look like me. We're not related in any way, like biologically. I mean, we're related now. I'm their mom. But biologically, we're not related at all. But everyone says that I look like Rory and Isaiah. So we have both of them. And before Isaiah was adopted, we actually found out we were pregnant with the baby we have now. And so we went from 0 kids to 4 kids, literally in 2 years. And we got to adopt Isaiah, November of this last year. So we had him for 8 months?
We had him for 6 months, basically the shortest amount of time we could have.
Yeah, we had him for 6 months. And then his adoption was finalized, and he had also asked to be adopted. He wanted to be able to stay with Rory. And so we adopted him, and he actually changed his name, so Isaiah is his new name. And then we closed our home again, not because we wanted to, but we really are out of room. We were blessed that someone heard our story online and wanted to help, and they actually paid to have our garage.
It's an enclosed garage.
It's an enclosed garage made into 2 bedrooms. So right now, everyone in the house has their own room, besides me and Drew. But they have their own room, but we really have no more room. And we would give every kid a home if we could. And so our fostering adoption journey did not at all look like what we expected it to look like. But I'm glad it went the way that it did. I'm glad that we have the 3 kids that we do. Anyways, that's all for now. If you have any questions, feel free to comment those. You can go over on my TikTok. Check us out there. I'm sure a lot of your questions are already answered. If you like what you saw today, it was a hot mess. There was a lot going on. My cat is scraping right over there. I'm not sure if you can hear it. But if you like what you heard today, stick around. We post all kinds of content. My kids post content on here, and I do on TikTok as well. Thank you.